The Eagles have the best wide receiver tandem in the NFL. They have one of the best cornerback tandems in the NFL. They have one of the deepest running back groups in the NFL. They have the best offensive line in the NFL. But even greater than all of that, the Eagles may have one of the best young defensive tackle tandems maybe we've ever seen.
You want a war? You're going to get one.
What was that? He had no time for one more play.
Had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
The brother screwed us.
At least they fought back and tried.
only Cowboys game.
You
The brother
literally.
screwed us. The brother screwed us. We had one man opportunity for one more play.
Dallas still stinks. Goodbye, the way King Dingbat here, and hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. Eat your hearts out, Cowboy fans. It just keeps getting better and better for the Philadelphia Eagles. That's right. We go this way, you go this way. You're running out of chickens. How many can you sacrifice? The Philadelphia Eagles are loaded, stocked, blocked. Pause. I think I should pause. Why? Because I don't know what I was about to say, but it almost came out bad. Anyways, the Eagles, as good as they have all these different groups on their team at different positions, the Eagles' defensive tackle position may have a chance to be one of the greatest defensive tackle positions in Philadelphia Eagles history. But before we get into all of it, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you click that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, the most throttled, pause, Eagles content creator in all of the internet. And if you've been subscribed for a while, I just want to thank you so much for all the support you give to me. It truly, truly means a lot. And I am totally messed up right now. Like I keep looking, going, oh my gosh, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I would be doing this. I should be doing this. What did I miss? And I keep thinking, I'm like 3 hours ahead now. It's so weird coming back. Like, you know, growing up on the East Coast, you never thought anything of it. And then you go out west and you lose, you know, you kind of gain 3 hours. So, you know, it's 1 o'clock here on the East Coast. You fly out west. It's 10 in the morning, right? So you seem like you get more time. It's easier to adjust. But when you come back east and then all of a sudden it's 3 hours ahead, it screws you all up. It's screwing me all up, man. It's crazy, you know? That being said, I'd still rather be on the East Coast any day of the week. I'm going to come back one of these days. I cannot wait. But anyways, we're not here to talk about clock or Mr. Time, because then we would have to be talking about Jerry Jones, who just turned 5,021 years old today. Happy birthday to him. 5,022. My God, man, the guy's going to have a big surprise party. It's hard to be 5,023 years old. Anyways, when you look at the Eagles, right, you look at their wide receiving core. You look at A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, okay? I think it's the best tandem in the National Football League at the wide receiver position. I think you have legit 2 top 10 guys. I think possibly legit 2 top 5 guys, because I think Devontae Smith is going to have that kind of year. You look at the cornerbacks, right? You have 2 guys in Darius Slay and James Bradbury, who I think are one of the best tandems in the National Football League at the cornerback position. Great offensive line, great defensive line. We got all those things. But when you really look at you know, the receiver tandem, the cornerback tandem, these guys aren't homegrown guys. Not all of them, right? Devontae Smith is, but A.J. Brown isn't, right? You look at the Eagles' defensive tackle position. You have Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. Both guys are homegrown. They came in consecutive drafts, both first-round picks, and they have a chance, in my opinion, to be one of the best, if not one of the best defensive tackle pairing the Philadelphia Eagles have had in their history. And that's saying a lot, okay? I go back, the greatest defensive tackle I've ever seen for the Philadelphia Eagles was Jerome Brown. He didn't live long enough, but if he did play, he would have ended up, in my opinion, being the best defensive tackle to ever play the game. He was on that path, okay? And he played with some good guys. Mike Pitts was good. They had Mike Golick would rotate in. He was good. They had Andy Harmon. They've had some good defensive tackles, some good pairings in the past, but I don't know that they've ever had pairing like they have with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. The potential for those guys is absolutely ridiculous because each one individually has the potential to be a top-notch defensive tackle for years to come. I'm talking Pro Bowl caliber, game wreckers, game destroyers. Okay, that's what they are. They're game destroyers. And usually, if you're a team and you get one of those guys, it's really a great thing. But to have two of those guys who are just starting out on rookie contracts, that's unheard of. I don't think people realize how unheard of the situation the Philadelphia Eagles are in with those defensive tackles. Not just because they played at the same team, but both of these guys have the opportunity to be dominant. And you know, one of the reasons why I say like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are the best tandem in the NFL, in my opinion, at the wide receiver position. One of the reasons I say that is because they fit each other. They fit each other like a glove. Pause. You know what I'm saying? You have A.J. Brown, who's a big, physical, yards after catch wide receiver. Then you get Devontae Smith, who's not as big, whose strengths aren't necessarily the same as A.J. Brown, but where A.J. Brown may not have, be good at certain things, Devontae Smith excels at those things. So Devontae Smith, he is he is like an artist. Devontae Smith is an artist when it comes to being a route runner. He's a fantastic route runner, and I would say he has the best hands on the team. All right, when you get both those guys by themselves are number one wide receivers, okay? But both those guys playing with each other is absolutely fantastic because they're complementary to each other. They fit each other very well. It's not like you're getting two A.J. Browns or two Devontae Smiths. Sometimes that could actually hurt you. It just doesn't mesh well. These guys fit beautiful. And that's the same thing you have with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, except they're both Eagles drafted players. One's going into his second year. One is going on to his rookie year. Okay, when you look at those guys, all right, you look at Jordan Davis. I don't think Jordan Davis will ever be a double-digit sack guy. I don't think he's going to get you 10 sacks in a year, but I think he can get you 5.5 to 6. Okay, I think he could give you that. But he's a monster run stopper. He's a monster just in general. You can't block him one-on-one, which means he's going to eat up double teams. And when he does that, then you're going to what? Free up Jalen Carter. When you look at Jalen Carter is a double-digit type sack guy, and he can play the run. When you look at these two guys and you pair them both together, I don't think there's a better piece you could give Jalen Carter than a Jordan Davis. I don't think there's a better piece you could give a Jordan Davis than a Jalen Carter type player. And these guys are rookies. And if they develop as we think they will, you're going to have one of the best defensive tackle groups that the Eagles have ever had in their franchise. And not just the Eagles. This may be one of the best in the National Football League. This team has a chance to have that for years to come. Now, you start adding Nolan Smith, and then you start adding Hassan Reddick. You add these other guys, that makes for a brutal defensive line. But this is like where we're at. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is what I'm talking about in the video. Like, the Eagles we're in uncharted waters. We are in a time that we have never seen, because the Eagles have set things up in a way that most teams will never sniff what the Eagles have done. The Eagles have a chance to throw two top 15 defensive tackles out there who both in their own right dominate. They dominate, and now you're going to pair them up and play them for years to come. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, you should be scared. If you're Mark Holmes and you're at his chicken farm, you should take 2 heads of chickens off. Boom. Because you got problems. You got problems the rest of the NFL for a long time to come. My expectation is that Jalen Carter starts right away. I think he's going to start. Jordan Davis, I don't know. I was thinking Fletcher Cox, pause. But I'm thinking now it's Jordan's Davis. You know what I mean? It's Jordan's Davis. Pause again. It sounds weird. Fletcher's Cox and Jordan's Davis. It sounds weird. I don't know. Damn you, Adrian Fedku. You had to put that crap in my mind. Pause. But you know what I'm saying. Like, we've seen good defensive tackle groups. We've seen good defensive lines. Eagles, to me, are the greatest defensive line I've ever seen in 1991. But Jerome Brown, as good as he was, he didn't have Jalen Carter next to him. He didn't have Jordan Davis next to him. He had good players. But these are 2 guys that in their own right can dominate. And maybe I'm even reading it wrong with Jordan Davis. I mean, I said 5.5 sacks, 6 sacks earlier, but I'm thinking to myself, why? Why is it only 5.5, 6 sacks? I retract that statement from earlier, because the more I think about it, I think it's wrong. I think I'm absolutely wrong. And God knows I've been wrong before, all right? And I'll be wrong again. Just ask my wife. I'm born wrong. I wake up in the middle of the night, go to the bathroom. I did it wrong. I get up, I go get a drink. I did it wrong. The only thing I don't do that you don't complain about is baby making. We make babies. That's what we do, and we do that well. But you know what I'm saying? Like, why did I say Jordan Davis can only get 5.5, 6 sacks? I'm thinking about that going, why? Because he didn't have any sacks last year? No, this guy was an athletic freak. He's fast. He's explosive. You guys have probably seen the OTA drills where they're hitting the sled. I mean, he's so fast off the snap. The whole thing with Jordan Davis is just conditioning and being in shape and work on his technique. He does those things. Yeah, maybe he can get double-digit sacks. I'm gonna say it's open that both of them can, because it's not right for me to say a guy who's that good, who's that is athletic as a freak. You know what I mean? Like, he can do all that stuff we saw at the combine, but he can also do it on the field. He's fast, he's strong, he moves unbelievably fast. And if he's in shape and he's conditioned, then sure, why can't he get a double-digit sack guy? How are you going to stop him and Jalen Carter at the same time? I just don't understand it. There is trouble brewing for the rest of the NFC East, and they should be scared. So in this video, you got to actually see me change my opinion, because I thought it out. I wasn't a dingbat. I actually thought it out. And yes, they both could get double-digit sacks. And they both, when all said and done, I believe will go down as the greatest defensive tackle duo ever to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. All right, so sitting in the hotel, explain this to me, right? Why, when you go in a hotel, they give you 2 types of cups? It's these that are like this big, they're like a little Mark Holmes, and then these little coffee cups. Like, these are your choices. Look, who do they think? Who do they think is staying at their hotels? I mean, what do they think? We're like the elves on winter break after Christmas, and we're here traveling. This for us. And you need some big regular cups. Why not, if you're a hotel, start putting regular cups in there? Just put regular cups in. Why not? And make an ice maker in every room. How about that? That can't be that hard. You don't have to walk out in the hall at 3 in the morning to get ice. You know what I mean? And, I don't have to pour my drink 80 times to keep filling this up. Because this is like literally fill up, sit, done. Thanks. Denzel Washington out.